My name's Steve Guttenberg. I'm the audiophiliac, and I'm here with Miguel in his beautiful, stunning New York apartment. I'll just pan around a little bit. Unbelievably gorgeous. And Miguel, you were trained as a physicist?
Yes, I have a PhD in physics. Yeah.
So you actually understand how audio works?
A little bit, maybe. Yeah.
Well, more than the average audiophile.
Probably, yeah.
And yet, you like tube electronics. But isn't solid state better?
I don't want to say better.
Uh-huh.
Maybe different.
Uh-huh.
My story with tube. This is my first tube amplifier.
Oh, okay.
When I was young, I saw an issue, probably of Stereophile. I don't remember, where they talked about this particular amplifier. This is an Audionote Kondo Ongaku. And I said to myself, I've been an audiophile or just loving music, loving sound for forever. And I said to myself, I would love to have that thing one day. Right? I would really love to have that thing. And so in 2013, I decided to buy one.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And because tubes are lovely, but also can be idiosyncratic with what you used to listen, meaning speakers. Then I got speakers that are sort of appropriate for.
And these are avant-garde.
These are avant-garde duo mezzos, and I got them at the same time.
Oh, as the amp. Okay.
Yeah, right. It takes a long time to get any of this stuff. You order it. It's like Italian furniture,
Yeah,
but whatever. But anyway, I have it and I love it.
But you didn't start with such exotic material. You were telling about your very first hi-fi, the one in the metal box.
Yes. I don't think I'm from Argentina originally, so people might not relate to this, but I had this. My very first record player was a Wincophone. It was all metal. Okay, it was one box. It had a platter. It had speakers inside. No speakers outside.
Right. The speakers in the same box as a turntable.
Yes.
Not a good idea.
And the turntable was the same size as the turntables today. So you can imagine everything was sort of
jammed in.
Jammed in, yeah. And the one thing I remember about this thing is, first of all, I loved it. I'm sure I destroyed many records. I have records that were played on this thing still here. But I don't have a vinyl set up right just yet. And the one thing that was frustrating about it was it had this little pin, and you could stack records.
Right, it was a changer. Right.
Yeah, a changer, right. But the thing that drove me nuts is when two records would come down at the same time instead of the next one. Right, so.
But you had fun.
Oh, lovely, yes, lovely. Yeah. And for years on end, I didn't really have any money, so, I went through, the best I could do in terms of amps and whatever, right? When I moved to the U.S. in '94 to go to school, I bought my first real stereo. It was an Adcom amplifier, Adcom preamplifier, Paradigm speakers, and a Sony ES CD player, and I loved it. I had so much fun. It was great. At some point, I was in physics school. I went to University of Chicago for a PhD in physics. And, students have a little bit of free time, right? So I would get on the forums and learn how to modify stuff. I modified the power supply of my CD player. I modified the phono stage of my preamp. And the funniest one was when I modified my power amplifier. I bumped into Nelson Pass, who had designed this thing.
On the forum.
On the forums, yeah. rec.audio.highend, if that means anything to anybody. And I asked him, how do I make this thing sound better? He said, well, increase the bias, right? And I said, well, okay, fine. I opened it up and I found what he pointed me to, and then I said, well, how much? And he said, well, put a thermometer on the power transistor, and when it reaches 50 degrees centigrade, That's as high as you can go. I was like fascinated by, he's not giving me a current or a voltage, he's giving me a temperature, right? And well, so that was my encounter with Nelson Paz.
Actually, we should explain that Nelson designed those ADCOM amplifiers.
Yeah.
He was hired by ADCOM to design the GFA series, I guess it was.
Yeah,
the 535,
535-2. That's the one I had,
okay.
and in fact I have 3 of those now. Right, for another system, but they're amazing. Stuff. They're fantastic.
Yeah,
they're incredible. Yeah. Anyway, so the ADCOM stuff, Paradigm speakers, Sony CD player was my system for a long time. I had a few other add-ons, but that was it, right? And then in 2013, I decided, okay, I'm going to buy the system I always wanted.
Wow. So wait, you went from the ADCOM system to this system?
Yes.
Really? Holy moly.
Yes.
Wow.
But I love music. I listen to music all the time. You know, so yeah, but yes.
That's a big jump.
That's a big jump.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I told the story about how I wanted this thing.
Right. This is an audio note Ngaku.
Yeah.
Made in Japan.
Yep.
In 2012, is it?
2012, May of 2012.
Right. And it's got this beautiful copper top and the tubes. We were talking about the tubes. You want to tell that story?
Yeah. So one thing that is sort of mystifying to me is this is an amp designed by a Japanese person, Kondo. What was his name?
I think we just called him Kondo.
Yeah, Kondo. Kondo, and in the late 80s, early 90s, I don't remember exactly, he chose these power tubes. These power tubes are American design and made, these particular ones, power tubes that were used in communication systems. The amazing thing to me is that these, in all likelihood, some of these tubes were in the planes that bombed Japan, right? At the end of World War II. Yeah. It's sort of incredible that this Japanese guy decided to use these tubes. Right? Moreover, these particular tubes were made in 1944. So when I play music here, I'm listening to tubes that were made 75 years ago.
These very tubes?
These very tubes.
Designed then.
These very tubes. These are GEs.
This is new, very old stock.
Yes, exactly. These are GEs 211s, right? In fact, this is not the only pair I have. I have a stock of them just in case. Right? Because these things go bad, obviously, right? So
that's amazing.
I just find it sort of mystifying. It's just fantastic. Right?
People are strange.
Yeah.
In great ways sometimes.
In great ways. No, in great ways. No. It's sort of like I'm going to ascend to a higher level and I'm going to choose the tube that I think is the best, even if it's an American tube.
Right.
It's fascinating. Yeah. So. Kudos to Kondo. Right?
Kudos to Kondo.
Yes.
Sounds like a band. You should start a band. Kudos to Kondo.
Exactly, yes.
So then the DAC is
okay,
the
so the DAC is a DCS Rossini. There's a external clock
that's underneath it,
yeah,
right?
This smaller box.
Right.
This is a fantastic thing. I play room to it most of the time. It connects to the network. But it can also take other inputs, like digital inputs. So I have a Chromecast dongle there. Okay. I also have the CD transport, which you actually reviewed.
It's the Cambridge.
It's a Cambridge CXC that goes into this so that I can play CDs, because I play CDs and I love CDs.
Me and you.
Exactly.
We're the holdouts.
And in the bottom, there is a Mac Mini running room. That's basically the bottom line, just dedicated to running room, right?
What kind of music do you like?
Oh, what kind of music do I like? I like everything, really. I mean, okay. Let me say it this way. What kind of music am I listening to lately? I've been listening to a lot of piano. I love jazz. I'll mention some records in a minute
Okay.
that I love. I've been listening to Brian Eno a lot because
I brought Brian Eno to play today, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he just released a new version of Atmospheres. And it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. Right.
Yeah,
Thanks for reminding me.
And the booklet also is fantastic. I bought the CD, right? So it's beautiful, right? I listen to a lot of jazz, classical, vocals. I love female vocals. It's great. I'm not a huge fan of Diana Krall, so you know, Darko can.
So if John Darko's listening, you
exactly.
won't okay.
But I like Wicca. What things? Aretha Franklin, for example. What else have I listened to lately? Nora Jones a little bit. I love Amy Winehouse. Unfortunately, all her recordings are destroyed by clipping. But nonetheless, I still listen to it because it's just such good.
I think she was the last great, like rock or R&B, soul, whatever. She had it. As soon as you heard it, you felt like, man.
It's just amazing. There's the videos of her singing. She just had that power.
You've seen the documentary, right?
Yes. One CD I love is one that you recommended from Chesky. Amy Rubarth.
Yeah. Amber
Rubarth. Sessions from the 17th Ward. It's lovely. It's just so pure and so effortless.
So back to your hi-fi. So the speakers.
The speakers are Avant-Garde Duo Mezzos. A few little. So this is the middle horn.
Right. That's the mid-range one.
That's the mid-range.
Right.
And one interesting thing about Avant-Garde designs is that the amp goes to the mid-range without any crossover whatsoever.
Really?
Yes.
It's direct couple.
It's direct couple.
Interesting.
Right? Then there is a crossover for the tweeter, obviously.
Yep.
Right? And this is a bass horn, which has two, I believe, 15-inch woofers in there, and a 500 watt or something like that in the back. So this plays very loud, and it's a bit cheating in a way, right?
Do you know the efficiency rating?
107.
Wow.
Yes.
This massively
is
efficient.
friggin' efficient.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason is that this thing is direct coupled.
Yeah.
Right, so I think that has to do with the efficiency. There you go. Yes, they're 107. This plays really loud, and this thing does not put a lot of power. This is single-ended.
20 watts? 22?
Rated 27,
Okay.
but my estimation is that I never play more than 2 or 3 watts out of this thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So so it's cheating because it really plays loud, but not because of not because of the tubes.
Right.
What else can I tell you? Oh, the platforms. Maybe do you want to?
Oh yeah.
So in a previous apartment we had our downstairs neighbor. It was wooden floors, right? I mean, like a wooden structure. So our downstairs neighbor did not like the speaker at all.
They were
or
hearing
the sound
too much
it
of
made.
it.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, fine. Let's consider getting some platform of some sort to ameliorate the transmission. So I ordered these Symposium Super Plus, I think they're something like that.
Yeah.
I had to order them custom because they don't make this thing. It's very large, right? I think that this actually coupled the speaker more to the floor than the other way around.
So you had to move, and that's why you moved here.
Yeah, but and these speakers are very heavy. They're like, I think 230, 250 pounds, something like that. But the interesting thing is I kept these platforms because it markedly improved the tone of the piano, especially the impact of the piano. It just really brought it in.
Well,
so, that's
it worked
it.
out.
Yeah,
that's good. Lucky for you.
Yes, lucky for me.
They're not free.
This apartment, fortunately, is concrete, up and down. So I don't have problems with neighbors.
That's good.
Yeah. But
we'll talk about a little bit about Bob Vicentiner. You bought this from Bob Vicentiner?
Yes.
Both
Yes.
the amp and the speakers.
Yes. So Bob was great. Bob got the speakers from Avantgarde German. He has to order them. It's a whole story. These things, right? They make them every time you order them. They are not.
They don't have an inventory of them.
Exactly right, because they're.
So you picked this color. It's really beautiful.
I picked this color.
I've never seen them in that color.
What else can I tell you? I love that this system turns on every day and brings me joy every day, right? This is very important to me, right? I used to be a tweaker. I'm not anymore. One of the reasons I got the Rossini is, okay, fine, this is a streaming DAC. Everything is inside. There's no way for me to replace anything. I'm done, right? And I like it that way, right? This is a wonderful sounding DAC, obviously. Unfortunately, a few months ago, I got this bug of trying power conditioners. So you can see I have a Hydra over there. I have a depth response behind this thing, and frankly, so far, mixed bag. But I'm like you mentioned actually once. You know, I leave it on. I leave one setup on for a few weeks.
Right. Get used to the change.
And then I change it. I don't change it back. Right. And I listen. Right. And I have found that, mixed bag. I don't know if this is interesting, but...
No, that is. But so in other words, there's things that you liked about having it in.
I'll tell you exactly what I liked about having it in and what I didn't. When I put the depth response in, the soundstage expands a little bit, okay? But it also becomes a little brighter. In a very hard to pinpoint, but in a direction I don't like. Okay. Right? Music is less fun. Right, and to me, that fun part is a must. Right, so the moment my fun indicator goes a little down, I'm like, no, that's wrong. Right, so maybe I like systems that are less bright. I'm not sure.
But is everything in it?
What's that?
Was everything the amp?
Yes,
and the speaker for the amplifier?
No. The amp speakers I'm not putting in the supply. When I moved the amp out of the conditioner into the wall back, things got better, right? So I am in the process of trying out all digital in the supply. Okay. And the amp into the wall. So we'll see. But right now it's all into the wall as is.
It's all about the music, as they say.
Exactly. Yes.
Anyway, thank you, Miguel.
Great.
Your home is wonderful. This is one of my favorite neighborhoods we're in right now. Anyway, thanks again. My name's Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show coming to you from Manhattan. And hope to see you guys back here again real soon.
Great.
Bye-bye.